transportation fund to do other things. The governor, just in the last 2 weeks, has begun to ask the question, how should KDOT and highways, bridges, pavement maintenance, and public transportation be funded in view of the borrowing from this fund and the amount of revenues flowing into the state? What would be your answer if the governor asked you that question?
Just so I'm clear on this, are you saying, am I for continuing to borrow from the transportation department?
That would be one option.
Okay, well, I just want
yes,
to clarify
yes.
that that's what you're saying. I don't think it has been a good option for us. Frankly, I can tell you again, it has been an option that most years I have been there. That is what has happened in both parties, Democrat and Republican, with governors. Do I think it's an answer, and do I think that we should be doing it? No, I do not think we should be doing it. I think we should be looking at other alternatives. So I really am opposed to continuing to borrow from our transportation dollars.
And let me just ask, do you have some alternatives in mind?
I don't. At this point in time, I don't. I think the budget process is very complicated and very complex, and it changes from year to year, and I don't think you can really know what you want to do until you have seen what these agencies' budgets are, and then make a determination of where you might be able to have efficiencies and where you might not be able to have efficiencies.
And Mr. Russell?
Thanks. I find it almost comical that the governor is asking this question about what are we going to do to pay for our transportation program. I agree with one thing Kay said, and that's that when you don't have the money, you can't pay for things. But the governor and the legislature have created a situation now. I mean, the financial crisis was not within their control, but they've now created a situation where we're going to be forced to choose between cutting more and raising property and sales taxes to fill the gaps. And I don't like either one of those choices. My solution would be repeal the income tax cuts that were just passed. Do I have high hopes that that's going to happen in the next 2 years? No. But you asked me what my solution is. That's my solution. And we have the money in the bank to do many of those things this year without borrowing from the transportation fund. I agree, it's not a good solution to borrow from the transportation fund. But you got to be able to say where you're going to cut or where you're going to raise the money. And we just cut money. The legislature and the governor have the power to raise the money to pay for things if we think they're important. I think highways and infrastructure are important. I think schools are important. I think social services are important. And we need to have the courage to say, these things are important, we're going to pay for them, and we're going to raise the money somehow. And I think the place to start is by repealing this irresponsible income tax bill that was passed this year. And if we have to, if that doesn't happen, then I would listen to any proposal that's up there and consider any proposal that could pass so we can get through the next 2 years so that we don't have further cuts to those priorities and so that hopefully we don't have to borrow any more from the Highway and Transportation Fund.
Okay.